6:44 now on a clear, crisp Sunday morning across most of eastern Colorado. A little bit of fog right now across the San Luis Valley, as seen from our Vero Wireless Neighborhood Weather Network camera, looking out across Alamosa towards the Sangre de Cristo Mountains to the east. That won't last very long, and it's just a function of some pretty chilly air that's in place. It's only 2 degrees there right now. Colorado Springs visibility looks good. The sky looks mostly clear as viewed from overhead door near Powers and Galley. Roads in this part of town are generally clear, and the wind is nice and light, which is the nicest thing I can report this time of year. I think the wind is sometimes quite the factor, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue for most of us today. Right now, 20 to near 30 do it for most of us along the Front Range. As I mentioned, it's much colder across the San Luis Valley. Gunnison's -3 right now, and Leadville's only 2, so it's gotten pretty chilly up across the higher terrain and over the high mountain valleys. Futurecast shows very little cloud cover across the area today. We'll probably have some thin mountain wave clouds, especially over northern parts of our coverage area, but they shouldn't be around in enough of a capacity to drown out the sun today. And then the other question, of course, will be with the wind, and we'll still have some breezy pockets out here over our easternmost counties, but I think for the vast majority of the area, the wind is not going to be much of a factor today, maybe up around 10 to 15 miles an hour on the high end. And that's good this time of year because obviously even on a warmer day the temperatures are cool and the wind can put a pretty good bite into the air. So with a bright sunshine this afternoon and the light wind in place, I do think it'll be pretty nice today with 40s to lower 50s along the Front Range, maybe mid-50s over the far eastern plains. Look for 20s and 30s over the high country and mainly 40s for the southern valleys and probably for much of Teller County as well. Then no big changes in the sky conditions for tonight. We'll likely continue to have some mountain wave clouds around, and if so, that just means we'll have a nice pretty sunset. The rest of the night will feature a generally light wind and cool temperatures dropping back into the 20s along the Front Range, perhaps down into the teens for Lyman. And we'll still have some single-digit temperatures over the mountains and mountain valleys, which, as you know, at this point is not terribly unusual. There's a nice look past the Spanish Peaks, as seen from our Vero Wireless Neighborhood Weather Network camera, situated up there in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. And this camera always shakes. I don't know if it's ever not windy at that location, but again, as I mentioned, I don't think for most of us we're going to have a ton of wind today. We'll be pretty mild tomorrow as well, maybe not quite as nice as today, but after that some colder air comes in, another chance for some snow, and we'll talk about that in our extended forecast coming up here in a little bit. Stick around, we'll have more news for you right after the break.